Way to totally ruin my beginning. All right. So yes, I am Katherine, and I am a dinoholic. I love dinosaurs, and yes, that includes all Jurassic Park movies. No, even the fourth one. All right, if you want. All right. So let me start off my presentation with a question. Before the beginning of this presentation, who knew that Edmonton actually had dinosaurs from here? All right, I guess that's what I should expect in a room full of nerds. Normally, not as many people realize that there are dinosaurs in Edmonton. So I usually get to amaze them with that awesome fact. So what I'm going to talk to you about briefly are the dinosaurs from Edmonton, and in particular, the dinosaurs that are from the Danek Bonebed, which is something I've been working on for over a year now. So just to make sure we're on the same page, when I speak of a bone bed, I'm talking about a site that has an unusually dense concentration of fossils that are representing more than just one individual. No, wrong button. Oh, I hit stop. There we go. All right. You're welcome. All right, so the Danek Bonebed was discovered in the winter of 88-89 by a local sculptor and amateur paleontologist, Danek Bonebed. And it's located in southern Edmonton, as you can see by my very vague and awesome map. It's a secret location that we don't want people finding and destroying, so it's the best I could do for you.
Seriously, it's a secret?
Kind of. We have lots of tours and everything, but secret. All right. No, I lost my train of thought. All right. So this bone bed was first excavated by the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology in the summer of '89, and they returned again in '91. And over those 2 field seasons, they collected, yeah, I only had one beer, I promise. Now, over those 2 field seasons, they collected around 100 elements, and it includes the only articulated material. And that was 4 tail vertebrae. So by articulated, that means they're all together and not separated all over the place. So that was them. And then in 2006, the University of Alberta Laboratory for Vertebrate Paleontology, the people I'm with, they reopened the site as a learning site for the students that are enrolled in the paleontology field school, which is super awesome to have here. And so they started working on the same quarry, here we go, which is this quarry here. We call Quarry 1. And then they opened up a second quarry. Get this, Quarry 3, we call it now. And the cool thing about Quarry 3 is that it has juvenile associated material. So it's not articulated and all together like what you see in Quarry 1, but because juvenile material is not as common and they're close enough together, you can kind of tell they're most likely from the same individual. So we call it associated material. And in 2007, they opened up a third quarry, Quarry 2. And that's what I worked on this past summer. So if you couldn't tell, the quarries are named based on their current location rather than the order they were opened. So over the past however many field seasons this place has been opened, there have been over 1,700 elements found in the bone bed, which might sound impressive, but most of them were small, unidentifiable fragments, so only about 700 are in the TRL or the university collections. So you're probably asking, how old are these dinosaurs?
How old are these?
Thank you. So this bone bed existed during the Upper Cretaceous, which means it was closer towards the end of the dinosaurs. Very sad, sad time. And they exist in a group of rocks called the Horseshoe Canyon Formation. And if you're driving around Drumheller, those are the striped, colorful rocks that you see. So Horseshoe Canyon Formation, named after the Horseshoe Canyon. So if you're driving around Drumheller, feel free to throw that out. Sound extra smart. And just 2 summers ago, they found ash at the bottom of the bone layer, and is currently being tested to get a more accurate date of how old the bone bed is. But at the moment, we're saying it's around 71 million years old. So feel free, I guess, to use that in any jokes you want, you know. Your grandma's so old she could have slept in the Danek Bonebed. There you go. But maybe something more creative. Just for the record, the time is really weird here, so I don't know how long I've actually been.
Don't worry about time.
Okay, good. All right, so here are some pictures of the bone bed. They were taken in May, so they're not the most colorful. But this here is Quarry 2, and it's the new section that we worked on. Each year we expand the quarries, and that involves lots of digging. You start off with shovels and pickaxes, and you have to cut through all the ice and permafrost and eventually the soil. And then when you get closer to the fossils, you have to switch to dental picks and brushes. So it gets a little slower. Got a message. So as I may have forgotten to say earlier, the Danek Bonebed is mainly Edmontonsaurus. And yep, exactly. Yay. Dinosaurs are awesome. So Edmontonsaurus is a herbivore that we call a hadrosaur, and it could be up to 13 meters long. They're found all across western North America, and some call them a Cretaceous cow. That's basically what they were. They're a big herbivore. They ate lots of plants. They migrated looking for plants, so I guess that fits, but it hurts a little. So the gray one is what we have here in Alberta, and the green one is more in the United States, if it's real. So yes, we have Edmontonsaurus. It's mainly what we have in the bone bed. It makes up about 83% of the material, or 87. And at the moment, we're saying that there may be 10 to 15 members of the herd that we're finding so far, but more elements that we find are raising the number. And the next largest amount we see of a dinosaur is Albertosaurus, also fitting. So Albertosaurus is a large theropod. I don't know why he's waving, he should be running. But it's a large theropod that's a relative of Tyrannosaurus rex. And we know they're in the bone bed because we see lots of teeth. They shed their teeth a lot while they're eating. And we do know that one actually died in the bone bed because we have a jaw, some foot material, and other elements. So we know at least one died in there, so maybe it had a fight. But yeah. And after these 2 dinosaurs, we also have 4 that are only represented by one element each. So we have Sornitholestes and Atroodon. So those are small theropods, like chicken size and a little bigger, that are running around and eating lots of other animals. And then we also have a ceratopsian, so a horn core. So like think of Triceratops and one of the horns they have. It's not Triceratops, but it's a relative. And we also have an ornithomimid. So that's pretty cool. We have 6 dinosaurs, at least, that are from the Edmonton city limits. I think that's cool. Hey, dinosaurs. And I would also like to point out, for the Edmontonians in the crowd, that Edmonton has dinosaurs named after it. Alberta has dinosaurs named after it, but not a single one for Calgary. Feel free to throw that around. I'm not from here, but I like to feel like I am. So the biggest thing that is plaguing those of us that work on this bone bed is what killed the dinosaurs, what killed this Edmontosaur herd. At the moment, we're going with 2 hypotheses. One could be death by flooding, and another could be death by wildfire. But at the moment, we still don't have lots of evidence for either. So this is a close-up of Quarry 2, the middle quarry. And I think it's a little pixelated, it's not just me. You'll notice that there's not much orientation towards the longer bones. They're a jumbled mess. And that kind of goes against the flooding theory, because usually when something is moved by water, the long axis of it is towards the direction that the water is moving. And I've done some measurements and data crunching, and pretty much this map sums things up. It's a mess. So there are other reasons why flooding could, or water movement could make things a jumbled mess, but we still don't have evidence either way of this being a good thing. And there's also charcoal in the bone bed. And I've recently done a project related to the charcoal. There isn't tons. Does that mean wrap up? Yeah. Okay, that's good. So there isn't tons of charcoal, but there's enough to say there could have been a wildfire in the area, and maybe they died from asphyxiation or smoke inhalation from a nearby fire.
Ebola.
What?
Ebola virus.
Oh, yeah, maybe. So at the moment, we're saying what killed these dinosaurs is still a mystery, but it's something we're working on. And I guess that's all I can tell you right now. So when the unimaginable happens and the weather gets nicer and there's no snow, I highly recommend that you go walking around your local riverbed or your stream and try to find what dinosaurs are in your backyard. And dinosaurs rule. Thanks.
So we have time for a couple of questions. You, sir.
The 4 fossils that you guys found that were just one sample each, were they close to the predator, or could they have been?
Oh no, very different.
No.
Oh.
Were they close in proximity? Could they have been digested?
Repeat the question.
No, a lot of it was in, like for example, one we have a toe element for, the ornithomimid, and at the moment there isn't really any of the Albertosaurus material around it. So unless, the Edmontonsaurs somehow ate them, they like meat, I don't know. But yeah, at the moment that's not quite something we're thinking.
Okay. One more. Yes.
Where do you typically find high concentrations of dinosaurs? Usually around bodies of water?
It all depends on erosion. So because bodies of water tend to erode the land more, that is where we find them a lot. Yeah.
All right.
I have a question. Sorry, Nathan. What's your second favorite dinosaur?
Edmontonsaurus. Sorry, I've always been a Parasaurolophus fan.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Catherine.